Welcome back to JRTV for race number 18 of the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. We head to the Michigan International Speedway for the Kmart 400. I'm Joe Rakowski alongside me, Trey Bardo. And Trey, this is one of the better racetracks we see on the schedule. Fast speeds around this 2-mile oval, but handling will come into play throughout this race. What do you expect to see here at Michigan? Because the points are tight and there is an insane amount of parity inside the top 10 to start.
Joe, this is I've always liked I like this place. It's fun. I mean, it's another one of those tracks where you really don't know what to expect.
Yeah. I think we learned that last season.
That's how you sum it up right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think we learned that last season. You know, we saw some different names at the front. We saw a massive crash with Brandon Beal, who's fortunately, in this race and starting well here today, hoping to try and maybe get some redemption from last season after that terrible crash. But as you mentioned, unpredictability around every corner and unpredictability in terms of qualifying. An Evernham car, Jordan Edwards on pole. Great to see that. Keegan Thompson for Hendrick. Then Joe Gibbs racing with Matthews Wells. A Roush car, Keyshawn Richardson. Richard Childress racing. Then DEI. And then you have Penske. You have Andy Petrie. So, Trey, the top 8 starters, 8 different teams. That is parity at the front of the field.
Yeah, that's we've said it a couple of times this season, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I like it when it's like this because you don't really see, I mean, which really team has the better advantage here, especially since the front 8 cars are all different, and then we start to duplicate there. But yeah, I mean, with tracks like this, it just shows you how pretty much evened out the field is.
Would like to point out on row 5. Had to have been something interesting after driver intros riding around the track in the truck, Trey, because Brett Cira 9th, Chris Jericho 10th. They are first and second in points, separated by 2 points. What is it like, Trey, having to ride in the truck after driver intros with their championship rival at the midpoint of the season?
I can promise you, when I saw them going around, I think it was Jericho that was up front near the cab of the truck, and Brett was all the way by the tailgate. So I don't think there was very many words spoken between the two.
It's a little cold, relationship a little cold there.
Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, I don't think they don't like each other, but it's just, you don't want to be conversating with the enemy, especially if it's the championship points leading enemy.
Yeah, you can't get too friendly with the championship rival, or else you might start feeling good for him if he starts outperforming you.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're race car drivers. I don't think there's ever a time where, if you're going for the championship, you feel good for the other one. It's just that you get a little less angry when the other guy wins.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes because they roll off on the same row. That should be an interesting start to this race. See who can try and come out on top in that. And also going to be interesting to see how the Michigan native drivers do in this one. Tim Gary starting at 14th has had a great season up to this point for MB2 Motorsports and looking to get it done on his home track. Last season we had a Michigan native, Justin Zeidel, win this race. It was his first ever win. Well, unfortunately for Zeidel, he was set to start 20th but failed post-qualifying inspections with Trey. Helped to come from the back in 40th place to do it again here at Michigan. Do you think he can in 40 laps time?
He's definitely been one of the most consistent drivers of this season so far, and he's really hoping to carry into the second half. We've had, 1 or 2 races already done with the second half, and he's been doing pretty good, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if this 24 can get back up front here.
Yeah, Hendrick's been on fire as of late. Thompson winning at Pocono, Brett Cira winning back-to-back. Zeidel doesn't won this season, but definitely could accomplish that here today at Michigan if he can repeat what he did here last season. It's a beautiful day once again for racing here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Clear skies. There are some clouds throughout the area, but mostly clear skies here at Michigan. 81 degrees, so another hot day for the 1st of July. 7 miles an hour of wind north direction, so pretty windy here at Michigan, but no chance of rain once again. So great to see that here in Brooklyn, Michigan. 2 miles in length for the Michigan International Speedway. 18 degrees of banking in the corners, 12 degrees on the front straightaway, and 5 degrees on the back straightaway. So a decent amount of banking, kind of the medium of the road banking of the tracks. This track was built in 1968 and held its first race in the first ever season in 1981. And the last 5 winners here at Michigan: Nat Wagner in 1996, Jeff Bright in 1997, then Roland Emmerich 1998, Jeff Bright again in 1999, and last season, obviously, Justin Zeidel won it. It will be a 40-lap race, makes it 80 miles here at Michigan, and the field window 21 to 24 laps. That's just past the midpoint. These drivers have to pit for fuel and tires, so we'll see how that plays into it. If we get some yellow flags, obviously, the only yellow in this race last season came in the middle of green flag pit stops because of Brandon Beal and others getting into a wreck coming off pit road. We'll see if pit exit is just as sketchy this season, or if they've maybe calmed it down and tried to figure out a safer option to get off pit road and all that. It's about time to go trackside to get the command to fire the engines up for the 18th race of the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.
Drivers, start your engines.
You only have the front man.
42 cars fire up. We're rolling here at Michigan to do battle in the Kmart 400. And obviously, I've talked to the man back in 9th place to start, Trey. Brett Cira. He's won the last 2 races at Road America and then at New Hampshire. He's looking for 3 in a row. The only 2 drivers in Winston Cup Series history to win 3 in a row. Trey Rainey in 1993 and you in 1999. Can Brett join that list of drivers?
I mean, I could definitely see him doing it. It seems like this 25 team's just been a rocket ship lately. I mean, they've closed this gap in pretty quickly, Joe. So, I mean, I'm not going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in victory lane once again.
I think it also helps that Hendrick Motorsports has won 3 of the last 4 Michigan races, with Jeff Wright winning 2 and Zeidel winning last season. Hendrick can bring some rocket ships here to Michigan. But this man knows a lot about Michigan, growing up in, you know, the Michigan area. Here's Tim Gary, looking to try and win at his home, just like Zeidel did last season. Gary's starting from 14th, so Trey has to find the inside lane here in the start. But if he does, do you think he can get up to the front just like he's done earlier in the season and win this race?
He's got that motivation of being the hometown boy. So, I mean, with that motivation, Joe, you can really do anything you can put your mind to. So, again, this 10 car, he's got speed. We know it's got speed. Can he find up front, though?
Also great to see Brandon Beal starting at 15th after that terrible crash he had here last season. He's going to roll off in a decent spot. But at the front, Jordan Edwards for Evernham claims pole at Michigan, showing the pace that Dodge has. To the outside, Keegan Thompson on a hot streak in the Winston Cup Series. As we take the green flag, Thompson gets on the gas really well, and we're going in the Kmart 400. Well, Trey, it did not take long for them to get 3x3 here down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I was just kind of watching it to see what was going to happen here, and by the time Fitzwater passed the start-finish line, he was already making a move down below, and these guys are really getting close here and kind of congesting a little bit coming off of 4.
Yeah, Brandon Beal got tight down low. You can see Jericho trying to push Kukulon by, trying to get himself clear. Cira's trying to get clear in behind Roger Ray, as Keegan Thompson led the first lap from the outside lane, which got a great start because Jordan Edwards on the inside did not get going, and they're looking 4 wide as Luke Rennie shoves inside Eli Bright and Brandon Beal. They soar back to 3.
Gonna say, how well does 4 wide work, Joe, coming off of a 2? I don't think it's gonna work too well, but luckily they were able to get it sorted out here. But these guys are they're acting crazy right now.
Yes, they are, and the one who's losing out big time, Chris Jericho, still fading back on the outside lane, really nowhere to go, trying to maybe get down in front of Evan Hunter in the 36 right here as they come off the corner. He's trying to get a run with Brandon Beal, but Beal kind of slowing from him, and Jericho can't get down, so it's still Keegan Thompson leading over Keyshawn Richardson. Mathis Wells in 3rd, Fitzwater to 4th, and Benny Lynn to 5th. Jordan Edwards from the pole has fallen all the way down to 7th place as they're 3 wide. Luke Rennie making big moves on the start, get by Kukulon. Now Jordan Edwards to the 9 car, struggling early on this race.
They're still kind of just, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he just doesn't have the short run speed. He might have a long run car if we do end up getting a long run here in this race, but we'll have to see if that car comes to life. But so far, almost the top about 8 or 9, just all single file right now.
Yeah, it is about to Brett Cira, single file. Now Kukulon trying to get away from the battle with Eli Bright and Luke Rennie. That's the battle for 9th and 10th. The Mitchell Collins coming up. How about a good run into turn 1 for Conrad Evans, having good run sponsorship on that car, just like with Justin Atkins. But here is Evans moving forward in the 31 and getting by Evan Hunter with Anthony Nez also in tow, and Jericho's still stuck in the middle. And how about Justin Zeidel, Trey? 4 laps into it. Here he is getting by Jericho on the inside lane, so that's 24 moving on this start.
OG wants to keep this consistency up. Why stop it now? Even if you start in the back, you can still get up there. And I mean, he has his teammate leading. He has his other teammate only 2 points back behind the points leader right now. So I think Zeidel wants to start doing something for his team here, and it looks like he's slowly getting the momentum to get right back up front.
And as you mentioned, Zeidel very consistent this season. He's currently 3rd in points, but a good ways back in the front 2. So while a championship could be out the window unless the front 2 start having major issues throughout this point of the season, he's still trying to hold on for that top 3 in the points. And right now, ahead of Chris Jericho as the race down the back straightaway. That's currently out or just inside the top 20, around 17th place. So Jericho fell from 10th outside the top 15. Edwards still struggling in the 9 as he is just losing all sorts of ground in that number 9 Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to the bottom, and Edwards doesn't really have any help up top. He's got literally no one behind him there, so it honestly might be a part of, the way these cars run here and with how, the wind and draft influences them. So it could be that, or, again, it just could be something with the car itself. We'll have to see if he can hopefully get someone behind him here and helps him out a little bit, or if he's just going to fall all the way to the back.
Yeah, so you saw Zeidel and Jericho again buying a whole train of cars trying to get by. There's Zeidel washing up Jericho, trying to get to his inside, trying to get another spot back. So Jericho starting to move back through the fields. He got back down to the inside, and this is one heck of a mess behind the front four. Strickland had fifth, but now he's getting swallowed up by Benny Lynn, Brett Cira, Kukulan, Fitzwater, all these others as they race to turn 1 and 4. The lead. Mathis Wells is getting by Keegan Thompson.
These two, they're still doing stuff this season. I mean, they both got a couple of wins, if I'm not mistaken. And then, Keegan Thompson's teammate, Brett Cira, is right behind him, catching up pretty fast.
Yeah, Brett Cira not letting the momentum go to waste. That 25 moving through. Kukulan up to fourth, trying to get his first ever win. Eli Bright right there. His base getting swallowed whole by the Penske drivers of Mitchell Collins and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Luke Rainey a little tight down low. He almost won here last season for Penske. And Anthony Hernandez with a flyer through the field in the number 1 car. Going 3 wide on Keyshawn Richardson, Lathan Strickland to turn 1. And Conrad Evans also just outside the top 10. And then back behind Sprotube and Chris Jericho trying to catch up to this front pack.
If I'm not mistaken, after qualifying, I think I heard an interview with Hernandez there talking with one of his teammates. It might have been Eli Bright. And he said to him, Eli, you want to plow our way through the field once the green flag drops? And Eli said, sure thing. And Joe, it looks like they're sticking to their game plan.
Yeah, I think it's working right now. Eli's up to 5th and Hernandez up inside the top 10. They start on the same row. It's not too bad for the two teammates right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be complaining either, and I don't think their third teammate's that far behind them either.
Now, Lathan Strickland started up pretty well in the 15. He's kind of dropped back a little bit, but still just outside the top 10 and hanging with them. So right now, all 3 DEI cars running pretty strong inside the top 12. So Strickland getting by Keyshawn Richardson, and Evans just in front getting by Benny Lynn, and then Anthony is right on the back of Luke Rainey. They're currently inside the top 10. Fitzwater up here with Mitchell Collins. We have a battle for lead again. Keegan Thompson back on Mathis Wells as Kukulan moves by Brett Cira to 3rd, and Eli Bright moves to 4th by Brett Cira.
It just seems like ever since Keegan got his win, it just flipped a switch with this 5 team.
Yeah, that 5 team, they have been stout since Pocono. I mean, we were saying, before that Pocono win, where has Keegan Thompson gone? The Keegan Thompson of 2000, where is that man at? Well, I think we found him because here he is now leading Michigan, but Sebastian Kukulan showing muscles in that number 30, trying to get RCR their first victory of the season. That's incredible to think about. The team that won the championship last season has not yet won a race, and we're midway through the season.
Yeah, I mean, they've been struggling all season. The whole team as a whole, really. And I mean, if you had to pick one driver out of the 3 of them that's really been, probably getting the best average finish, it's got to be Kukulan. I mean, I guess that's an arguable thing, but Kukulan missed 2-3 races at the beginning of the season. Ever since then, it always seems like he's not battling for wins, but he's at least averaging probably top 15, top 10 finishing positions.
Yeah, he's definitely been the most consistent driver. Even as you mentioned, missed 2 races, he's still up there with the other 2 in points. So if he had raced those 2 races, he'd be definitely ahead of them by a race or 2. So Kukulan shown that he, right now, the head man at RCR and currently running inside the top 5 with Mitchell Collins right behind him. Anthony is going by teammate Eli Brent looking for some more. And here comes Chris Jericho flying up onto Luke Rainey. That 18 looks pretty fast after he got down to the inside lane.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It took him a while to get to the bottom there, but once he did, this 18 is absolutely flying right now. I guess you could say he's a blockbuster hit, huh?
I think he is. I mean, listen, he got this new sponsorship, right? Interstate Batteries was meant to take over the whole season, but they said, you know what? We'll give to a few other sponsors. So Blockbuster came on board for a few races. They'll also have some other sponsors later on the season, but, definitely good to see, a new sponsor. And Chris Jericho trying to get their name in the spotlight. And right now he's doing a great job at it, and he's got up into this massive pack for 2nd place. Fitzwater moves to 2nd, and here comes Jericho into this big mess in front.
Now, you definitely know that Brett Cira's spotter and crew chief are telling him that Jericho's now part of this pack with him. And if I'm Cira, I want to be trying to get to the inside here pretty quick to at least try to either hold my position in front of this 18 here or defend against him. Oh!
He was not lifting there. He was like, you know what, Eli, you might be outside me, but I cannot lift right here. I need to keep the spot on the inside. He pushed Eli and Hernandez, and somehow they didn't wreck.
Yeah, I don't know if he missed his mark going into the corner, if the car got tight, or if it just started to, wash up there. But there's definitely contact made there, so don't know if Eli's going to be too happy about that one. I mean, I know him and, Jericho are good friends here, but that one might be a little bit of a kink.
You also got to know that Jericho, he's been kind of frustrated the last few races. He said after New Hampshire, it's hard to be frustrated with third place, but when your championship rival's just that little bit better, it's frustrating to be, in third place and him winning the race. So he's hoping that he can try and get up there and be the one to frustrate Brett Cira, but Brett is looking to go make it a Hendrick 1-2. He's trying to get by Fitzwater for second place, but Fitzwater using the draft keeps second for now. Mathis Wells in fourth would maybe fancy a chance to get by Brett Cira here to get Cira back to his teammate Chris Jericho. Mitchell Collins also up into the top 5, so Penske having both their cars inside the top 5. Really good day so far for that organization. And Fitzwater's a shot for the lead into turn 1.
It really seems like with Penske here, it's either both of their cars are extremely fast or they're both not that competitive. I mean, I don't think there's been a time where one has been competitive and the other one hasn't.
That is very true. Whenever they're, Fitzwater up there leading or Mitchell Collins up there leading, the other's right there with. And once again, Fitzwater now leading this race. Mitchell Collins coming to the inside, trying to get up there with them. Mathis Wilson there. And how about that number 17, Matthew Burnett? Lowest starting of the Roush cars, way back in the field outside the top 35. Here he is moving up. I mean, all 3 of the 4 Roush cars started outside the top 20. Now here comes Matthew Burnett, the lowest starting of them. He's up inside the top 10, and he's trying to get even further forward inside the top 5 here, pushing Mitchell Collins and Mathis Wells.
Yeah, that's it just kind of shows you, that was a unique situation right there. I mean, on the front stretch there, Jericho had the choice to go down to the bottom line, but he decided to stay behind Brett Cira. So is he playing mind games with Brett Cira maybe? I mean, I don't know what other reason you would choose not to go to the bottom would be.
These race car drivers, they they tried to deploy some interesting tactics. We'll just say that,
I know. If it was me, I'd definitely be messing with them a little bit, just showing you that, like, hey, I'm here. Don't get too nervous, But I don't know. That was weird. And then they almost ran into each other going into one.
Oh, this could be interesting. He might shoot the middle of Cira and Luke right here. Watch out.
Ooh.
He's gonna put Cira.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna do it. I didn't know if Brett was gonna try to block him there, but I think Cira thought better of it and then decided to give him a little bit more room, but didn't really seem like it worked out too well.
Yeah, and then Jericho backed out of it. But now he's going to shoot back in again. Here comes Mitch Corbett to the inside the 66. Really good run for that Haas Car Motorsports driver as well. That's one of the underfunded cars. He's bound with the 2 championship frontrunners.
Brett Cira got a big run off the top there. He's going to be able to clear himself now. With Jericho has a 66 below him, so I don't think he's going to be able to get to the inside here. No, he's not.
No, Corbett kept it down there. This battle for 9th and 10th. Kmart Evans just behind that in 11th place, trying to lead the RCR Brigade to the front of the field. For 2nd place, Matthew Burnett takes it away from Mitchell Collins and Keegan Thompson. So Burnett up to 2nd. He'll be the one trying to run down Zachary Fitzhart Jr. But, oh, by the way, Trey, pit stops are looming around the corner, coming around to complete the 18th lap of 40. So about 3-5 laps until we get to pit stops.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out here. I mean, again, the same conversation we've had every time we've had green flag pit stops this season is undercut or overcut. But with the way these cars are racing here, and especially majority of the cars are either in one pack or another, so you're really going to have to want to time yourself here. And if you can't get to that inside, you might have to stay out longer than you want to.
It's all going to be about trying to limit the congestion on pit road, right? Either pit sooner rather than later so that whenever you leave, you're not into a mess. But, if you come in, 2nd lap or 3rd lap, you could be coming in while drivers are leading or leaving, and then you can be stuck behind them. So it's a very, very finicky, situation as these drivers try to get on and off pit road, and the best amount of time is for the lead. Burnett is right there on Fitzwater, so that's about for leading. Keegan Thompson also coming up to that, and also Anthony Nez in the 1 leading the DEI charge at the front of the field.
It's this group of DEI, I mean, they've been coming so close and not so close to getting wins. They're always up front here, and but one of these days it's going to come, but who knows if it's going to be today or not, because so far it's Penske, Hendrick. I guess you can now add to the DEI to this battle for the lead.
Yeah, it's Roush, Hendrick, Penske, DEI, 1, 2, 3, 4. As Matthew Burnett moves out in front, Keegan Thompson trying to get to the inside. Fitzwater getting a draft off Burnett, who now moves low, trying to maybe give draft to Keegan, but Fitzwater clears him. I have a shot back for leading to turn 1 if he takes it to the inside.
You can easily argue the top 4 right now are the top 4 most dominant teams this season. I mean, yeah, we've had our fair share of smaller teams getting their chance or getting a win here and there, but for you got Roush, who's have every single one of their drivers win this season. You got Penske, where Fitzy's got to win. The 12 car normally runs pretty fast. With the 5, I think 2 of them got to win this season. Are we pitting already?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Fitzwater doing an undercut in the 2 car from second place.
He is the only one.
Yeah, he is playing a really
He's actually the only one.
Yeah, that is a huge gamble for Fitzwater right here, because if a yellow comes out, he could fall a lap down. But now we'll see when these drivers start to come in. So an undercut for Fitzwater. We'll see if the crew chief has it right on that number 2. For second place, Hernandez trying to get by Keegan Thompson. Matthew Burnett has clear track for whenever he wants to pit. He doesn't really have to let off that much.
Oh, Joe, I remember what happened last season. I mean, I didn't get to witness it because I was in the car, but you did. The accident coming off of pit road. What are the chances that something like that, hopefully not as horrific, but something along those lines could happen again?
It definitely could, as Keegan Thompson inherits the lead as Matthew Burnett comes in. It was all because, you know, it's a tight pit exit. You know how tight it is, you know, once we get onto the apron meets the racetrack. You only have about 1 lane, and if 2 cars are coming off side by side, they're not going to lift off each other. That's what happened with Caden Lynn and Brandon Beal last season. They didn't lift, and Beal got spun around by Caden Lynn, so we'll see if anyone leaves side by side of these front runners, what happens. As Burnett's service quickly done in the 17, he's down and away.
Let's see how well he comes out based on everyone else, and who else comes in this lap is the real question. Ooh, okay, we're good.
Hernandez trying to leave as close as he can to that number 17, along with Brett Cira. Looks like so far everyone kind of coming off single file, but look at all the RCR cars are right together. The 30 and the 29 might leave side by side. They're sharing a sponsor to this race.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, and then these drivers that stayed out, they're like, oh, where do we go?
Yeah, it seems like they settled it out. I think everyone else should be okay as well.
And here's some of the more front runners in. Some other back markers stayed up, but Keegan Thompson came in, Chris Jericho came in this lap, along with Matt as well. So I'd be very interested to see where Fitzwater cycles out in relation to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, considering he was the only one and had no one else with him, I don't know if that's going to help him at all or if it's going to honestly hurt him. I mean, I don't know how it could hurt him, but at the same time, it may.
Keegan Thompson leaves. Jericho and Luke Rainey hit leaving pit road. Jericho's to lift for Luke to let him by. There goes Burnett in the 17 up to speed. Anthony Hernandez as well. They're trying to get by these drivers. Looks like they will easily get by the front runners.
Where is the 2? Did we lose him?
There he is.
Oh, he's right there. Oh, that actually hurt him, I think.
Yeah, and you have to think that maybe just going those laps without draft, right? Because these guys are running in a pack.
Yeah, that was he was probably expecting a lot more drivers to come in with him, and literally no one else decided that same exact plan. So, I mean, we'll have to see if he can make any ground up here.
We will have to see, as Matthew Burnett is going to inherit the lead after, you know, we still have the 93 and some others have to come down pit road. But it's going to be a battle right here. Matthew Burnett and Anthony Hernandez going at it. This will be for the lead after pit stop cycle through, and it might be Hernandez to come out on top in the 1 car.
These two have a decent gap on 3rd place. I'd even say a huge gap on 4th and 5th place too. So if Brett Cira can catch these front 2, and if they can stay single file for a while, it might help them grow their lead.
That is also true, Trey. You know, if Burnett wants to ride behind Hernandez here, make it just a race between those 2 instead of a race between 3 or even more, because, you know, there's going to be other cars 4th on back. They're going to have more draft than these others. So they've just passed the 93 of Jack Haas as he's leaving pit road. So Hernandez cycles out to the lead. He's not yet led a lap here today, but it's he in the 17, 1st and 2nd here at Michigan. Looking like they're going to battle for it. Burnett trying to get inside Hernandez, but the 1 gets a nice drive off the top of turn 2.
Yeah, and this is only going to let Brett Cira to come in a lot quicker, but and it's going to definitely allow these guys to come in even faster because they've got, what, 5 or 6 in a group right here?
Yeah, they got, you know, from Thompson all the way back to Luke Rain, then maybe some others like Jericho and Corbett, Zeidel and Collins as well. Some of these guys that have been really fast so far today, so definitely these drivers can try and catch in. They also might swallow up Brett Cira whole because he doesn't have much draft off these front 2, although he is within about 6/10 of Burnett. So would that be close enough, Trey, to get draft off these guys?
It definitely could be, especially if Cira hits hits his line and gets what he needs to do. It doesn't overdrive any of these corners here. He could definitely. It looks like he is actually catching quite a bit here, and he's definitely in the draft now. That's 17. As long as these guys don't go side by side and they stay single file, I mean, it could work out in Cira's favor. But I think that 17's trying to take a peek at the bottom.
Yeah, and you can see Cira is actually gaining, so he is going to be right there, make it 3 cars, and who knows if Thompson, these others can gain. It was 2.7 last time by for these drivers. This time by, it is 2.65, so they gained a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to try and run the front 3 down.
Yeah, I think Cira gained about 3/10 that time around. The guys behind him only gained 1/10. So it's weird to see sometimes how, you would think with a bigger group of cars, especially majority of them single file, be a lot quicker here, but I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work out in your favor.
Well, with 13 laps to go, Trey, let's do our lunch chat now. Get it out of the way before the final 10 laps because it could be a barn burner between the front three. From folks on the McDonald's Chevrolet of Benny Lynn and that number 33 for Andy Peter Racing. And last week we asked which of the smaller tracks that have one race deserves a second race on the schedule. And you said either Bristol or Phoenix, and over half of the people polled said Bristol should get the second race. So Trey, you got half a point for that one again.
So that's the second time I got half a point, so that's 1 full point. I'll take it.
Yeah. So you've equaled out to 1 full point. But now, this week, we're going to be talking about the points format because last 2 races, Brett Cira won. But with his 3 wins on the season, he's still behind Chris Jericho in the points. They've been pretty similar, average finish-wise this season. So, Trey, the question this week, should the winner of the race be awarded more points over second place?
What's the differential right now?
So as of now, the winner gets 180, second place gets 175.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. Why would, if you get the win, I mean, that's cool. You get a trophy with, but championship and point standing wise, why would you only want 5 points over second place, especially if you're in a situation like Jericho and Cira right now? I mean, you would want to think like I get at least, I don't know, I would say 10 to 20 more points in second place, especially if the championship rival right behind me, just to make it like that much more significant.
Yeah, that is true. And also, you factor in the fact that you get points for laps led, most laps led. If the guy in second leads the most laps, then he actually gets the same amount of points as the winner. So that just kind of, comes down to the point of probably not getting enough in that regard.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on the end of they definitely need paid more points than what they're getting right now if they win the race over second place. But I guess we'll have to see what everyone else thinks.
Hey, you'd almost wonder if maybe 200 points would work out in that situation. You'll get about 25 more.
We could get some guys on that to deal the math out and see what it's like.
Yeah, we could. So at the front, Hernandez, who's never won, and then you have Brett Cira, who's won many times. He's won the last 2. He's won 3 times this season. And Matthew Burnett, who has 2 wins, 1 last season, 1 this season. They are 1, 2, 3. They are 2.5 seconds up on 4th place. Mitch Corbett, who's having a great run. Jericho trying to break inside the top 5. But as of now, he'd be losing the points lead to Brett Cira, who's in a fight for second with Burnett. Burnett's on the outside. Cira's on the inside. And Hernandez is hoping these 2 keep battling like that because the one can pull away and keep the lead and try to get DI's first ever win in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. 8 laps to go at the line.
So no matter what, if Brett Cira finishes in front of Jericho, does that switch the points lead?
It would, because
is that how close they are?
Yeah, neither is led a lap today, so that kind of falls out the window. So whoever finishes higher of the 2 would get the points lead. And at the moment, Cira has it. But if Burnett keeps battling Cira, that's going to slow them down. Maybe these drivers could catch up to those 2.
Well, actually, Jericho's on the top side now with 3 cars, almost 4 cars below him. So if he doesn't get to this inside here, he might be in trouble. But
I think his teammate helped him out too. You saw Mathis Wells make a desperate move to the inside.
That's again. I mean, I think they have the best team chemistry there between those 2. Mathis Wells knew what he was doing, so that just shows you that JGR knows what to do.
Still about 2.5 seconds. Mitch Corbett, though, having a really good day for Oscar Motorsports on one of these big horsepower racetracks. To see a smaller team like that at the front, that is definitely great to see. But at the front, Hernandez first, Cira in second, Burnett in third. They're coming back to 6 laps to go, and at the moment, it looks like it's just going to be these 3 to battle for the win here at Michigan. Also have to give a tip of the cap to Justin Zeidel, who's had a great recovery up to 5th place from 40th on the grid after failing post-qualifying inspection.
I just want to say that I said he was going to be able to do it, and so far he's proven me right.
Yeah, he's done about as good as he can. If maybe pit stops didn't kind of spread this field a little bit more, he would definitely be up there and challenging for the win in this regard.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's just that's just the way these races work out sometimes. Is that for you to get a win in this series alone, the cars just have to fall in your favor, and once in a while you'll be missing one, and it ruins everything. But those days where everything falls into its place, it's the greatest feeling ever.
Did you see Hernandez? I think he drove it down to the corner harder than he has all race long because Cira's looking to the inside. They have 5 laps to go in Michigan. We're past the point of no return. Yellow flag would end this race short. Hernandez and Cira get away a little bit from Burnett in 3rd place, who might be trying to save his stuff if these front 2 start battling.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that the 17 is falling off a little bit. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or if he's honestly just losing it, but it looks like he caught a little bit there. So Maybe he was just, oh, he caught a lot, actually.
Yeah, he might make a pass for second right here. Great momentum into turn 3 for Matthew Burnett. This time by 4 laps to go in the Kmart 400 at Michigan. It is still these 3 cars for the win. 4th place still Mitch Corbett, and then you have 5th and 6th the JGR boys of Chris Jericho and Mathis Wells as Zeidel starts to fade a little bit. Keegan Thompson getting by him, and now Wells looking at his teammate Jericho.
This might bring Keegan Thompson to the inside too here, so they might want to be careful how they play that out, but the still battle for the lead. I mean, right now they're pretty spread out evenly across the 3 of them, so I mean, I don't know. It's strange. There's no teammates here, so you really don't want to help the guy out in front of you, and I don't know how you would want to play this out as a driver.
Yeah, this is going to be, I mean, you know, the front 2 have history in the making, right? Hernandez can try and get DI's first ever win, but also think about Brett Cira. Mentioned at the start of the race how only 2 drivers in history have ever won 3 straight races. You and Trey Rainey, you did in 1999, Trey Rainey in 1993, but only one of you did it in 3 consecutive weeks. That was you. Trey Rainey an off week in between his 3 wins. Cira hasn't, so he's trying to become only the second to win in three races in 3 weeks. He tried to pass there, but Burnett gets to the outside the 17 for second place.
It just seems like you can't really make a pass unless you have some sort of help behind you here, or the guy in front of the person you're trying to pass maybe slows him up a little bit, but at the moment, it just seems like Brett Cira is really struggling to get around this 1 car.
2 laps to go in Michigan. Anthony has gaps by 1/4 of a second over the battle for second place. Chris Jericho still on the outside, fading down to 7th place, now down to 8th. Luke Rennie's got by him in the 88. So Jericho struggling as he got put to the outside. Now he's up top 3 wide. DeLello and Wells and Zeidel. He might fall outside the top 10 by the end of this. Cira's definitely going to leave as the points leader. Hernandez has a nice gap as they race down the back to the turns 3 and 4 to the white flag here at Michigan.
It makes you wonder if Jericho might have tried to, you know, push his stuff here to try to catch up to the leaders, but at the moment it looks like it's hurting him. He might be outside the top 10 by the time we get there, but Joe, we're coming to the white flag.
White flag, 2 miles left for Anthony Hernandez. Cira closing in using the draft. It's going to be one of these 2 to win. Burnett's too far back unless these 2 have some sort of altercation. Through 1 and 2 for the final time. Cira looking low on Hernandez, who tries to get a run off the top of turn 2. Cira might get a run to the inside. They're side by side off turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
Now the real question is who's going to be the one to send it into 3 and 4 here. Brett Cira's got the inside of it. How much is he willing to risk it all?
Oh!
He's going to get to the inside, Joe.
Side by side, Cira going for 3 straight wins in 3 weeks. Hernandez trying to get DI's first win, but it's not going to happen for DI. Brett Cira, 3 wins in a row.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I'll tell you what, he waited until the exact, I mean, he could not have waited any longer to make that move.
I think he did it. He did it perfect, Joe. I mean, he did what he had to do. He gave no time for Hernandez or the 17 to make any more moves on him. He waited to the last lap, the last corner to pass him for his third straight win. And I mean, I do have to mention though, it's absolutely heartbreaking for Hernandez and that DEI organization. They're so close so many times to a first win, but Joe, it's going to come sooner or later.
Yeah, I was just about to mention for Hernandez and DEI, that has to be so heartbreaking. You know, Dale Lightning, the team owner, because as you mentioned, they've come close. You know, Strickland in the 600 and Eli Bright a few times. But as you mentioned, it has to come sometime this season with how good they've run. They can't just go this whole season without getting a victory.
Yeah, I mean, if they do go this whole season without a victory, I would honestly be surprised about that.
Yeah, I would too. That is for sure. They've run so good this season. As Brett Cira, though, he's unstoppable so far in the summer months. 3 straight victories, his 4th of the season. He does it in style last lap pass over Anthony Hernandez, who gets second place by about 1/10 of a second. Matthew Burnett, a great charge through the field to get to 3rd. Keegan Thompson, a solid day in 4th place, make it 2 Hendrick cars to finish inside the top 5. And oh, by the way, Hendrick's 3rd straight win at Michigan and their 4th in 5 races. They have figured this track for sure over the last few seasons. Mitchell Collins also gets a good day for Penske, top 5 for him. Mitch Corbett, really good day for Housecar Motorsports, 6th place for the 66. Luke Rennie really need this run, 7th place for number 88. Got 6th here last season, so very solid at Michigan, Luke is. Mathis Wells ends up in 8th, Zach DeLello 9th, and Justin Zeidel gets all 3 Hendrick cars inside the top 10 to finish. Chris Jericho fails to finish inside the top 10 and will lose the points lead for the first time in a while. 11th place for Jericho, but still within range, definitely of Cira. But definitely has to be worried with how the 25 team's been performing the last few races. 12th place to Conrad Evans, one of his better races of the season. 13th goes to Fitzwater, had a lot better car than probably where the finishing results show. 14th, for Colin Teague, really good run for him. And Jordan Stout, 15th. He also did not start too well, so a decent day for number 6. Kukulon falls to finish in 16th. Lathan Strickland, 17th. Benny Lynch, Justin Atkins, and Eli Bright complete the top 20. See down here, Stanworth and Noah Clifton both failed inspection, but they got 21st and 22nd today, so they had really good recoveries as well. You look down, Tim Gary, the hometown favorite, possibly 26th for him. Just did not have the car underneath him. Nolan Lawrence started just outside the top 10. He faded to 25th. Keyshawn Richardson had a dismal second half of this race. He was running inside the top 10 for a lot of the race. 31st for him. You look at Jordan Edwards, who started on pole 34th. That 9 car was never dialed in, it looks like, throughout this race. You look down at the bottom, some other teams down here like the 77, who's had a good few races. Ryan Wilson down here. Brandon Beal, who started decently well. Walker Davis started inside the top 12, and Evan Hunter also started inside the top 25. He falls to finish in 42nd here today at Michigan after what was definitely a crazy race all throughout. Caution free though this season, and we look at the points. Brett Cira now on top over Chris Jericho. He got his 3rd straight win, and Cira now in the points and in control of the championship, but we'll see for how long if Jericho can try and get it back in the late summer months. But Trey, this has been an outstanding stretch of races for Hendrick Motorsports, but especially Brett Cira. 3 straight wins in 3 weeks, just like you did in 1999. Oh, by the way, you won the championship that season.
Well, if the trends continue like they do, I mean, the 25 team should be pretty excited. But hey, I'm not going to jinx them. You're not going to jinx them. We're just going to let the season play out and see how it goes.
Yeah, we will, because the front two, they've been so similar this season in terms of speed. I don't want to call out which one has the upper edge right now, because they've both been very, very good, both shown speed at basically every race they've gone to. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the season unfolds. But race number 19, another one of these wild card races, but even more of a wild card than here at Michigan Trade, because we're going nighttime racing at Daytona for the Firecracker 400, that Midsummer Classic. It's become one of the more prestigious events on the schedule ever since it went to Under the Lights, and we're going to see some fun racing for sure next week at Daytona.
Oh, I can't wait. I love that track.
Yeah, Daytona is going to be fun. And with these front two of the championship so close, you have to think that the intensity level is going to be through the roof for those two to try and, if a crash happens, try and miss it. And if a crash doesn't happen, time it out right. That's the hardest thing to do at Daytona, Trey.
Yo, you ever been partying on a beach before?
Not that often. I have before.
Next week I'm gonna show you how we party on a beach.
All right, that sounds good. Daytona. You know what? We'll go down during the week. Get down there, before the weekend. Have some.
We'll make sure it's a couple of days before the race. Don't worry.
Yeah. We need to get prepared then for the race. But after these last few races, how great they've been, Daytona's gonna be one thriller for sure. Congratulations to Brett Cira once again, 3 straight wins on the season for Trey Bardo. I'm Joe Ricassi. So long from Michigan, and see you guys next week at Daytona.